Hello and welcome to College Board's Community College Initiatives webinar. We'll be recording today's session and we will email it to you after the webinar along with the slide deck and some additional information. Thank you for joining us today. We know your time is valuable, so we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Suzanne McGurk. I've been at the College Board for 10 years, where I now work in higher ed policy and community college engagement. Previously, I was the registrar at the Kentucky Community and Technical College System, and I was Associate Director of Admissions at a public flagship university.
And hello, my name is Robert Ojeda, and I've been at College Board for just over 11 years, working with the Recruitment and Enrollment Solutions team. I've spent over 20 years in higher education enrollment and financial aid, where I served in management roles at both a public and private university. I look forward to sharing some information with you today.
Hello, my name is Ashley Robinson Spann, and I am a member of the Higher Education Data Strategy team. I have a strong background in admissions at Johns Hopkins University in particular. I worked as the Director of Data Analytics and Admissions there, but I also have worked at the graduate level and also K through 12 on college preparation level. So today I'll be discussing the annual survey of colleges in particular, which some of you may be familiar with, just to share information about the opportunities we have with sharing your data and reaching out to students.
Thanks, Robert and Ashley. As we run through the agenda, I just want to make sure that you know we're doing this to provide you with resources that are available, particularly around Big Future, so that your college is well represented when students are looking for colleges. We will look at resources and services for community colleges today. Ashley will be covering the annual survey of colleges and Big Future profiles, and Robert will talk about College Board Search, the free file that's available, low-cost opportunities, and program enhancements coming this fall. We will wrap up with questions and answers. And also want to make sure you know, you probably saw that we posted a Q&A out there so that you know that that box is open. You can either use that to send your questions or you can hold them to the end. We'll do our very best to get to all of your questions. It's probably best to use the Q&A in case we run out of time at the end. That way we will be able to follow up with you even if we do run out of time and don't get to your question. We're starting today's presentation with a quick overview of the webinar series, some of the services available for colleges to take advantage of. Community colleges and College Board, where our work intersects. If you look at some of the bulleted information here, the webinar series started as a result of the pandemic last year. We wanted to reach out to community colleges and talk about the services that we have available so that you could enhance your enrollment pipelines. We have included as many of our College Board contacts as possible in the invitations, and we also encourage you to share the invitation with others. If you've previously attended a webinar, we always invite you to the next one. So if you're here today, you can expect to hear from us again. So we've covered a number of topics in this webinar series, and some of you might be joining us for the first time. The series really grew out of the need to help community colleges get more students in their enrollment pipeline. There are many services available at the College Board for you to take advantage of, and we welcome the opportunity to partner with you. And at this time, I'd like to pause to do a quick poll. I think we are interested, and you're probably interested as well. We want to know more about whether or not your campuses will be open face-to-face this fall, whether they're going to be have in-person learning, or whether you're going to still do remote learning or some blended combination, or if you haven't decided yet. This is an anonymous poll. We're just curious where you stand. And we're going to give you a few minutes to fill that information in while I speak to this slide. So on this slide, we're talking about professional development. There's lots of different types of available professional development through the College Board. We have events, we have national, regional events, we have workshops, we have summer institutes. We also have product training on CLEP and Accuplacer. We have reports for SAT, AP, and CLEP exams. And then we also have discussion boards and other professional opportunities. These are all available to you whether or not you are a member of the College Board, and I really encourage you to take advantage of them. In recognition of the important role of community colleges, College Board has developed programs and services specifically designed to assist community college professionals. And we also offer these extensive training and professional development opportunities. This is just a sampling of some of the things that we have. Take an opportunity to explore other opportunities. And I think now if we could end the poll and see what the results are. And we may be getting those results later. I thought we were going to get them popped up, so my mistake there. Let's go ahead. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Ashley for our next segment.
Thank you, Suzanne. So many of you may participated or at least have heard of the annual survey of colleges. That is the College Board's expanded version of the Common Data Set, which is a series of key higher education questions that are collected annually for reporting. So a lot of the data is very similar to what is available via iPads. So most institutions complete the Common Data Set and share those responses on a wide variety of surveys, including the annual survey of colleges. This year, the annual survey of colleges is becoming Big Future College Profile. Now, what that means is that the traditional questions that are on the annual survey of colleges will not be changing. However, the portal and the tool that the participants will be using to provide their data to the College Board will be different than it has been in the past. So facts about that transition. Big Future College Profiles will launch on May 25th, 2021. If you are listed as the College Board's primary or secondary contact for your institution, you should have already received multiple emails about this transition and the associated registration process. All survey sections for the new Big Future College Profiles will be available at the same time. So that would include the traditional ASC, which is primarily based on the Common Data Set, the financial aid, and also the tuition and fees sections. The questions your institution will answer are still the same, which means all Common Data Set questions will be included. So if you've completed the annual survey of colleges in the past, you'll be familiar with the format and the types of questions that are being asked. There may be a difference in how they are displayed on the new tool, but please know that the data that is asking for has not changed. As part of the new transition, there will be multiple feature releases. So the key part of Big Future College Profiles, in addition to being a new way to collect the traditional survey data, is to provide our institutions with more marketing and branding and customization opportunities. So there will be new features that expand upon those, including new ways to update your logos and other marketing, branding tools, but also ways to communicate more directly with students. A lot of these changes were prompted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We know and we tried to accommodate a lot of your announcements and changes in processes as quickly as we could. So to make that process a little bit more dynamic in real time, we will be releasing some new features that will provide you with more opportunities to be more responsive to students. A key part to know about the transition is that the updates that you make will not be reflected online until early fall 2021. So as part of the release of Big Future College Profiles for institutions, there will be a matching release for students. So the current Big Future platform that students access will also be enhanced and released in the fall. So all survey data that is collected this season will be reflected in the fall. Traditionally, the annual survey of colleges is offered in November, and it would close for that first section in February. So we do expect to return to that normal timeline this fall. So why are we doing this? What are the benefits of the new data collection tool? So populating your Big Future College profile through our annual survey is now easier and way more flexible than ever with our new interactive tool. You can share access with different individuals and teams at your institution. And the initial design thoughts were that institutions who predominantly focus their survey collection via their institutional research team or data teams would now be able to expand access to your marketing, branding, and recruiting teams, potentially even enrollment management, so that you're getting the type of information that students are more interested in seeing. So each person now will have their own account to log in and make direct edits or submit updates at your discretion. You will also be able to make updates to key data points outside of the traditional survey cycle. Currently, if you needed to make an update, you would have to go through your data editor, who would then make the update for you, and then you would approve it down the line. Now we'll have the opportunity to have more dynamic updates, particularly where it concerns marketing, but also for some of the survey features where you're able to log into your portal, make that change, and then see it reflected at a quicker timeline. And as I mentioned, more marketing and branding tools will be made available on your Big Future College profile in 2021. So for those of you who are not familiar with Big Future is the College Board's student-facing college search tool. So this is the homepage, and it allows students to find out information about more than 2,000 colleges in the United States, including two-year institutions. This here is a sample of a community college's profile page. So some of the key data points that we often highlight, of course, are institutional characteristics, its location, size, enrollment, but also more specific information about your aid packages, your demographics, different questions that students may have about understanding how to select a best fit institution. Those are the type of data that are presented in our profiles, and those are the type of data that are collected via our surveys. So the value of Big Future, each year, millions of prospective students visit Big Future. Your institution's Big Future college profile is populated by data you provide through the annual survey of colleges. So to make sure you're reaching out to the largest number of students possible, it's important to keep your Big Future college profile up to date. And that helps students discover your institution when they're searching, because an important tool that is provided on Big Future, when students search for one institution, they're given recommendations based on the type of institution they're searching for in terms of majors, location, size, selectivity. So the more information you provide, the more we're able to connect students who may not have directly selected your institution, but are interested in an institution like yours. And we see launching the enhanced Big Future college profiles is part of our continued investment in College Board Search to help you connect with more college-bound students. So the more students that interact with your institution via Big Future, the more information we're also able to provide institutions that participate in our search program. So students are looking for you. Up to 240,000 students search for information about community colleges on Big Future annually. Over the last 2 years, community colleges with profiles received an average of 1,200 page views annually. Community colleges with the most complete and up-to-date information receives more than 4,000 visitors a year. So this large population that even smaller institutions can access by just inputting their data and taking advantage of the new branding and marketing opportunities that we will be offering starting this fall. And I included this map here so you can see just the number of students that are specifically searching for community college data historically over the 2 years in each state. So of course, Texas has a large population as well as New York, but even if your state isn't necessarily large comparatively, just promoting your institution by providing the right data can start encouraging students to seek information on Big Future about your institution. So feel free to ask me any questions that you have after the presentation today. And now I'm going to turn it over to Robert.
Thank you, Ashley. Now, let's go ahead and dive into what College Board Search is and how it works. College Board Search is a suite of enrollment solutions that includes Student Search Service, Enrollment Planning Service, Segment Analysis Service, and Interest in My College. Each of these tools broadens access to key data and enhances recruitment strategy. College Board Search is the largest database of college-bound students in the country who are qualified with a test score. We have 2 million new students opting in annually, with most of the data set originating from the PSAT. As a result, and contrary to what you might have heard given test cancellations, the College Board Search Pool is strong for the class of 2021. PSAT data enters search every January, and more students are added throughout the year via other assessments. And for the first time ever, starting since October 5th, 2020, College Board has been adding into the database all students who have requested to opt in to search, regardless if they have an assessment. Search helps you by providing a targeted way to take your message directly to students. And the results of that connection is that search plays a critical role in a student's access to college. In fact, participation in Student Search Service is associated with higher college enrollments and completions. Keeping with the same theme, participation in search increases a student's probability of college enrollment generally by 12%. The effects for low-income and underrepresented minority students are even greater. In service of College Board's mission to expand access to higher education, we are offering you a free list of 27,000 students who may be a good fit for your community college. The list is composed of high school seniors who have decided to participate in Student Search Service, but haven't yet received any outreach from four-year colleges. We believe these students are interested in attending college as evidenced by taking one of our assessments or by engaging with our college planning tools, and we encourage you to connect with them. If you have access to search, you can find this list by logging in at cbsearch.collegeboard.org and navigating to the My Searches, Orders, and Files section. If you do not have access to search, please email us and include your name and contact information. And finally, if you are not the search contact for your campus, please kindly forward this message to the appropriate person on your campus. This free file will be available until August 30th, 2021. Okay, so let's take a moment to review how search works. Those who have worked with search in the past will notice that the search entry process has changed. Today, a student can opt into search more ways than ever before. We have a number of new online opt-in channels that I will show you on the next slide. These online channels generate more than half of all new search opt-ins. Students might also opt in to search during the pre-administration session for an exam being given at school, such as PSAT, PSAT 10, SAT School Day, or AP, just as they always have. Regardless of how a student opts in, the student is added to the search database. Looking at the top left of this chart, from the top left of this chart to the bottom left of the flow chart. In the cases of online opt-in channels, students are added through a weekly process we called indexing. We add students to search every Monday, whether or not they have a prior assessment. When a student opts in for the first time during an exam, they'll be added to search during the data load for that exam. So moving along the bottom of the slide to the right, you can then license and connect with those students. You'll only ever license that name once, as search deduplicates automatically from all your prior orders. When a student has already been added to search and they later take an assessment, those scores will be appended to their existing search record on the data load for that assessment. Keep in mind that many students opting in online do actually have College Board assessments associated with their record. So, for example, if you set your calendar by the PSAT data load in the past and have ordered one time a year in January, you'll never find the PSAT test taker who opts in online after that particular data load. So there are two big takeaways here. Every student used to have an assessment on their search record, and that's no longer the case. Number two, because that's no longer the case, you could and maybe should be searching for students at various times throughout the year. This will give you the opportunity to talk to students sooner when they first opt in and are paying the closest attention. Let's take a closer look at the opt-in channels I mentioned on the last slide. On the right side of this slide, you'll see the various ways students can opt into search, and every one of them occurs during an important step a student takes on the path to college. In the past, students primarily opted in from a paper and pencil test, which is still represented here in the lighter shade of purple. However, today, students can opt in through a myriad of digital channels, represented here in the darker purple circles. The channels driving the most new opt-ins are the PSAT Suite and SAT School Day, which make up 35% of all opt-ins. College Board account creation sits at 20%, College Board account login with 19%, and online SAT registration, which has driven 16% of all search opt-ins. Thanks to these many channels for students to opt in online, search is still the largest database of students qualified with an assessment score. In fact, interruptions to SAT testing as a result of COVID-19 have had little impact on the overall volumes of students available in search. Weekend administrations of SAT have been bouncing back since last August. PSAT testing occurred this year over multiple administrations, and most SAT school day tests canceled last spring were administered last fall, with this spring's SAT school day being administered as planned. In a few slides, we'll look closer at search volume for the class of 2022. For now, keep in mind what online opt-in means in practice. You can find students coming into search constantly through online channels, so searching frequently means you are being responsive to student engagement. If a student called the admissions office, for example, you probably would not allow 6 months to go by before reaching out to them. So when a student fits your profile in search and makes their name available, it's probably a good idea to initiate a communication with them sooner rather than later. As a reminder, last fall, we started providing the option for students without an assessment to join search so that they hear from colleges like yours. This is a part of our work to provide more opportunity for students and for higher education, who have constantly told us they want to reach students early in the process, at a time that they are ready and most engaged. In the graph on the left, you can see that the current no assessment population is largest among younger cohorts, allowing for that earlier recruitment runway. In fact, there are currently more 9th grade students in our database than in previous years, opening doors for new strategies. Overall, this is a small but mighty segment of our search cohorts. In the graph on the right, you see that as of May 10th, no assessment names make up a total of 13% of the search pool. The trend line shows the data shifts as it ebbs and flows, as students who enter without an assessment may have their records appended after taking the SAT, PSAT, or AP exams. Data loads and weekly indexing shifts the share of students without an assessment on a regular basis. As I mentioned, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected test taking, yet we are seeing strength in spring administrations. As it relates to search, The 2022 cohort, which are currently juniors, is growing at a rapid pace despite the challenges of the fall and winter assessment administrations. This chart shows a month-by-month comparison of the 2020, 2021, and 2022 classes, starting from the second half of their junior years into the first half of their senior years. The dark gray line across the top shows the class of 2020. The next lighter purple line in the middle depicts the class of 2021. And the dark purple line shows actual projected volume for the 2022 class as they rise into their senior year. As a result of expanded test-taking opportunities and opt-in channels, the class of 2022 is just 9% smaller than the class of 2021 was at this time last year. And by August, September, we expect the 2022 cohort to close that gap and match the 2021 cohort in size. By the end of this year, we are projecting that the class of 2022 will reach the same size as the class of 2020 before the pandemic. With this in mind, it's important to formulate senior search plans that will stretch into the fall and early winter so you don't miss any of these students as they opt in. An easy way to start adding frequency or expanding the timing of your search orders and campaigns is to begin by locking down your backyard or your primary market where you have the most reach of students already. Make sure you're fully saturating all suspects in the geographic areas where you will have the most success. Let search do the work for you by creating standing orders for your backyard, which can run automatically each month to make it an even lighter lift for you. You may even want to explore our college plans and preferences criteria section within the search database. Currently, we show that there are over 54,000 search students who have specifically indicated an interest in attending a college that offers two-year degrees or specific training and certificate programs. Next, we'll take a few minutes to talk about some of the upcoming enhancements to our search platform. The recruitment landscape for higher ed has never been more challenging. So we are meeting this moment by investing in new ways for students to join search and innovative features to help you reach them. We've talked to hundreds of campuses across the past year, and we've heard your voice. These new search features are being developed presently in close consultation with enrollment advisory groups in order to connect you earlier and more effectively with the students opting in to search each day. Starting this fall, all search partners will gain access to the following new features. Interest in my college. Connect with students who are interested in you. Interest in my college highlights students who have shown a proactive interest in your campus through our college planning website, Big Future. Students who have added a college to their list on Big Future are 10 times more likely to apply to that institution as compared with traditional search students. Next, we added filters to improve targeting so you can identify the students you want to reach. You'll be able to target those students who matter to you the most based on a new set of student attributes and characteristics that will help you meet your enrollment goals. And finally, prospect notifications that will help you minimize chances of missing best fit students. Receive search notifications when students who meet your criteria are available, making it easier than ever to connect with the wide range of students joining search each day. College Board Search offers a great value. We are enhancing this value with new features this fall, along with increased levels of support available now. We are investing to provide what higher ed has asked for, more access to more students earlier. We are committed to providing the broadest student reach and best insights, while remaining one of the most competitively priced providers. After pausing annual price increases last year, the license fee for search will increase from the current 47 cents per record to 50 cents per record, effective this September 1st, 2021. The three features we just covered in the previous slide will be included in this 50 cents per record licensing fee. In addition, there will no longer be an additional subscription for Interest in My College names as of September 2021. The platforms for this multi-identification are Big Future, which you heard more about earlier, College Board's college planning site, and the same student service interface that you are or will become familiar with. Big Future is a go-to college search source for millions of students and parents, with 10 million visitors just last year. Using Big Future is free, and it contains profiles of more than 3,800 colleges and universities. Colleges do not pay a fee for their Big Future profile, and there is no preferential college listing available. So every institution is presented on an even playing field. Data in the college profile pages comes from information supplied by colleges themselves in response to the College Board's annual survey of colleges, along with some data also provided by federal and state agencies. It works like this. A student builds a college list on Big Future, indicating an interest in an institution by adding that school to their list. Next, an institution goes into search and uses the IMC filter to find that student, having confidence that the student is a good fit. If desired, your college's search user can also apply other important filters like score bands, self-reported GPA, and many others to ensure that this student is likely to be admissible. Finally, your institution receives the name and then communicates with that student as an inquiry. The student then is deduplicated from all future search orders for your campus, enabling you to go back into search later and look for more new students who have listed your college. IMC can help you pinpoint interested students in both your local market and in other areas where students may be seeking your campus's majors and career offerings. When you order search names, the output interest flag will appear in the appropriate column as labeled on the slide. Or you can simply use the IMC criteria filter to capture all students who have indicated an interest in your particular college. For the year 2021 so far, you see that the growth in new list builders is impressive, especially for students in the class of 2022, who are really ramping up their activity on Big Future. Since January 5th, 130,753 students in this cohort have created a college list. You can see how the volume is steadily climbing, and we expect that to continue through the summer months based on the activity of rising senior classes in prior years. In the chart below that, you can see that across each cohort, the number of students saving college lists on Big Future outpaces the class before them. For example, 393,000 juniors in the class of 2022 have saved a college list versus 279,000 juniors from the class of 2021 at this same time last year. In all, IMC students are the students you want to capture in your searches. They are interested in you. They are planning for college. And our research shows that on average, they achieve PSAT and SAT scores 100 points higher than non-list builders when they test. Our team of search experts stands ready to meet with you to learn about your enrollment goals and to share strategies on approaches to customizing search activity for your particular campus. On the screen, please note 3 ways that you can reach out to us to request free consultation and support. And you'll see the poll that just popped up as well, which is another means for you to request a consult with us. So that's all I've got. I will now turn it back over to Suzanne for the Q&A portion of this webinar.
Thanks, Robert. Nice job. And thanks, Ashley, for your presentation as well. We did get one question that came in the chat about how to find out who your contact is at your campus, and Ashley provided her email address. It's also available not only in the chat, but also on the slide right in front of you. So Ashley, thank you for providing that. If you're not sure who your contact is to get that annual survey and to complete the information so that your college profile is complete, Ashley will be more than happy to find that out for you. If that person has left or changed roles and you need to become that person, we welcome you on board to do that work, and Ashley can also make that adjustment for you as well. And then we do have a question. Robert, I'm going to point you to the chat real quickly. We have a question. How much does the service cost to institutions? If you could do that. If you could take
Happy to
that,
do
Robert.
so.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Student search service, the only cost that an institution incurs is whenever they actually order names. So you can create an account, there's no charge and no obligation to commit to anything at that point. But by creating an account, once you are an approved institution and an approved user, then you'll be able to explore throughout the search database to your liking. And there is no charge for how many times you log in or anything like that. It is simply the only cost will occur whenever you do submit an order based on the number of names. And as I said earlier, 47 cents a name is the current licensing price. And that will change to 50 cents per name starting September 1st.
And Robert, just to make sure that we have all the full information for them, if they want to take advantage of the free list of names, they still create an account. So they would access their free names through that account, but then they could explore if they wanted to without any obligation, if they were thinking about looking for a combination of criteria for students they were interested in, right?
That is correct, Suzanne. Everything you said is spot on. So yes.
And we do really encourage you. We are putting those free names out there for your benefit and for the students' benefit. Those students want to be recruited. They want to go to college somewhere. They just need the right fit. So please, please request the free names. If you don't know how to get the free names, you're welcome to use my email address, which is in the middle of the screen. We're glad to connect you with those free names. And again, once you have access to that account, you can log in every year and get the free names. And we do have a question. What information is included in the student records and college search? Robert, back to you on for that one.
Yes, great questions. So you're going to get a variety of bits of information, things like the student's GPA, if they listed it. You're also going to find out their mailing address, if they listed that, email address. And I keep saying if, because we are dependent on the students listing their information for us. And just to reassure you all, you know, the percentage of students who are asking for or submitting information to us is extremely, extremely high. So we can send you, once you reach out to us, we can send you a sample of what our file data layout looks like, so you can see all the different fields that are potentially populated. But GPA, things like GPA, you know, geographic information, that sort of thing will be all included in your search output files.
And just one quick other comment, you can email us your name, school, and contact information for the free list. We're certainly glad to help with that. If you have reached out for that free list and haven't gotten a contact back yet, I know the one person at the College Board who oversees that was out on vacation last week, so there may be a brief delay in getting back to you as she's catching up this week. But again, you're welcome to reach out to me and send me your email, the name of your school, your name, any of your contact information. And we have one more poll that we're wrapping up with. We're coming to the end of our time. Just because our time on this webinar is wrapping up doesn't mean that our time together is wrapping up. You're welcome to email Ashley, Robert, or me directly, all three of us if you would like. We're glad to continue to be contact people for you. We really appreciate all of the attendance today and all the good questions, and we look forward to further communication from you. Robert, any other last thoughts? Ashley?
Nope, just good luck with the rest of the start of the summer sessions and the rest of your school year. And thank you guys for taking time out of your very busy days to join us.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Take care, and we will be in touch with the next seminar. Thank you.